Remember last week when I posted a video of like just how gross my studio is? Well, guess what? I haven't cleaned it yet, so I'm still working in this mess. So I'm just gonna go with it because it seems to be a very inspirational mess, and it's working for me. So not superstitious, no, I swear. And I don't want to lose the mojo, so I'm just gonna work in the muck and the mire. I have one last full spread left in this journal, and this journal, I don't know what I was doing in this last section, but look at that whole last section. It's like all kinds of wonky. Like, I'm trying to flatten it out, but it won't work. So I don't know what I did in there. I don't know what kind of stuff I put in there, but it's at this like wonky page stage thing. So I'm not sure where I'm going to start. Look, I have paper stuck, like it won't even come up. It's just stuck there, so... Anyway, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just kind of staring at it, not sure like where I want to start. But maybe I should just start with paint, because I have been like, I swear to you, knee deep in paint. I had like 7 canvases going on yesterday. It was like, where do I want to go next? Oh, let's wait for paint to dry. It was crazy. Yeah, that said, probably had too much coffee this morning, and I'll be back when I have some idea what I'm going to do. I am totally going to blame Carrie for today's Inspiration Wednesday. It hasn't really started yet, but what am I doing here? I'm sitting here picking, because I have been honestly painting like a fiend, picking the paint out of my palettes. And golden paint has whatever plastins in it, and you can just peel it right out of your palette when you're done. The only exception is that gesso. Gesso, for some reason, you know, it stays, and I'm thinking some of these might have gesso on them because I can't get it off. Anyway. This weekend at Inspire, Carrie said, you know, you can do stuff with the paint. And I'm like, yeah, well, if I start collecting the paint that I'm now using, that, you know, I've already collecting 50,000 things, then I was like, ha, 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 whatever, and now I'm doing it. So, Carrie, you're to blame for this. So, I don't know what I'm doing outside of just peeling the paints off of my palette. And those are gesso. These ones are gesso. This is a good example of, like, the gesso. It's kind of like, it doesn't peel. It kind of just chunks out. Oh, look, that was a little bit of paint underneath it. Yeah, that's not my favorite to peel. Look at this. I have paint stuck to stickers, stuck to peel the paint off the bottom of my palette too. Look at that. Oh, crazy. So yeah, I'm just gonna sit here and just keep, ooh, that's good when you get a skin like that. Peeling the paint out, and then I think I'm gonna adhere them down. But I do know of somebody that has sandwiched them between wax paper and ironed them and made like a skin. I don't think I'm gonna do that today. Maybe the next time I have palettes full of paint. Yeah, but look at me go. Oh, that's a nice skin. Last one. I had 4 palettes going and like overflowing. There you go. All right, I'm gonna get some gel medium and glue them down. Oh, look, let's take this. Oh, that's a nice blue section. Oh, look at that one. That's a nice little paint section. And oh, look, clean again. Will that come off? Oh, it'll come off. A little bit of there. I want this one to, oh, that's a paint gluer. I want this yellow to come out, but I think I have gesso underneath it. Oh, I got a little bit of it. This is riveting. It is kind of riveting. It's like squeezing a stress ball. I just can't stop. All right, I'm gonna go get some gel medium, and then I'm gonna put these onto the background, as sick as that made sound. All right, I'll be back. So with my palettes fairly clean, I mean, except for the gesso, that really has been bothering me and I want to pick out, but I'm not going to. I'm going to, I guess, I'll probably never find them again now that I put them on my table here. I'm going to coat this with some gel medium, and then I guess press them into it and see what I do from there. This could end badly. This could be like the ugliest thing ever. So, you know, just know that going in. If I feel that it's going to be ugly, then there's just no place but up to go. So, yeah, here goes. cool. I started putting this stuff, just collaging it anywhere. And then I started having the thought process, like, maybe this could be something. Maybe I could save these and I could do something with them. Like I'm thinking of big canvas and geometric. Anyway, so that's kind of what happened there. Like this side I think I'm going to like better than this one, but who the hell knows. So I'm going to go in with some gesso. And I'm just going to maybe some watercolor paint. Maybe my airbrushing paint. That was just, you see that thought? It was kind of having mid-brain thought kind of thing going there. I haven't used this in a while. I'm just shaking it up as it's spewing all over my hand. Because this airbrushing paint is like a whitewash already in the bottle. You don't have to add water to it, which is what I was going to do to the gesso. And just kind of cover this up slightly. I don't want to cover up all the color. And I might do what I call like pouncing out the color. As silly as that might sound. Basically just taking, you could take a damp cloth or like a baby wipe or a dry cloth even. And I'm just going to pounce back out some of the color. So I'm washing over it and then pouncing on top of it to bring back some of that color. So now that's maybe a little bit more embedded in there. I don't know if I should do it to this. I'm just going to do it. Forward motion. Alright, so I'm doing the same thing over here, just whitewashing over that. Let me just tell you too, some of these were really thick. Some of them still are very thick. I had to glue them down, like pressing them, drying them. And then I'm just, oh, look, random stuff, which might end up in my book anyway. That's how much crap is on my table. Alright. Just pouncing that color back out. Alright, I'm going to dry that and then I'll come back and see what I got. So now I'm thinking like image transfer, which I don't even know if this is going to work because I don't even know. Now I'm just making a mess. But look, it's still Twilight. I'm still reading Twilight. Nothing is impossible, Edward murmured, voice velvet soft as he moved another inch closer to her. Except what you want. You'll never touch her. I don't even know what the hell I'm talking about. Oh, it must be, this must be to Jacob. Anyway. I feel so far removed now that I've read 50 Shades of Grey from anything Twilight. Anyway, let's see if I can't get this to transfer. And now the key to this is to try to get it to transfer on top of the paint thingies and the background. Who knows? Let's try it all. See what we get. Just loading up the page with some gel medium. I can't really burnish it because there's so much texture going on here, but I can try to use my fingers to make sure that all the text pieces are touching the page, at least where I want them to. Usually takes about a minute. Let me try some over here too. This is not an exact science, so people that always struggle with image transfer, I try to tell them that, you know, one day you're just going to get it and it's just going to keep transferring like it's magic. I do think it matters what you're using to transfer. I really like golden gel medium, but people will tell you they have their favorites for a million different reasons. Also know that if you're transferring book text, it's going to transfer backwards, so you're not doing this to read it. You're just reading it while it's transferring. Alright, so let's see. It's not really ready yet. Alright, I'm going to come back in a second and peel it back. Alright, so let's see how we're doing here. Oh yeah, oh maybe I left it a little bit too long. Don't check your email in the midst of that. Note to self. Better peel this one off too. Little bit. This is what happens when you leave it too long and you check your email and then you come back. Don't check your email. Patience. I hear it's a virtue. Alright, I'm going to keep rubbing at this and I'll come back. All I'm going to do is basically keep rubbing until I have most of the white off. If you see, just because I let it dry too long. It's not necessarily the worst problem. It just means it creates more work and more rubbing, and the pad of my finger might be gone. But all I'm going to do is keep rubbing at this layer to get most of the paper off, and hopefully what stays is a little bit of image that was transferred. Alright, I'll be back after I'm done rubbing. I don't know what I have, but be honest with you, it kind of just makes me happy the way it is. I think I want to maybe do the edges, but build off of it. I like it. It somehow reminds me of something in a science book, like examples, and I don't know. Anyway, yeah. I don't know what I'm doing next. I like the image transfer. I like that I even screwed it up a little bit, and it's kind of junky. But now I don't know what I'm doing. I'll be back. So I've got a little titanium white paint here, and I feel like I'm going to go around the edges with my finger. Part of me feels like this is going to be a mistake, and part of me feels like, oh, fun. I never know how these things look on camera, but I mean, this is so textural. I don't know if you can see all that. I mean, it's just, it's awesome. It's just awesome. Thank you, Carrie. I know this sounds like totally wimpy, but I really like the way it looks like this. I don't want to put anything on top of it. I'm really happy with it. Maybe I'll just distress the edges. I don't know what I'm going to do with the inclusion. I really don't know what I'm going to do with the inclusion. I'm just going to sit here and stare at it until it talks to me, but I will be back with hopefully some idea. Well, I have tons of stuff sitting on my table, one of which is the Holy Tape. Well, I've used a lot of it, so I have like just the back of it here. And I'm thinking maybe just glue some of that down to the inclusion. I like the contrast with the brown. It's easiest to probably glue this down with gel medium. So I'm just going to coat up this with gel medium, hopefully get end to end, and then just put that down. And I'm not going to put it down precisely right now. I'll cut around it, and then I'll do the other side, and then I'll come back. So this was sitting out on my table, and it's just a little cardy thing that I got from my friend Debbie, and I think I'm just going to glue that down. It has nothing to do with the page. How about that? And I don't care. I'm just putting it down because if it's out on my table, it's fair game. Oh, when you have your glue out, you should probably seal it or close it, especially when it's quick dry, because I got a big wad of glue bubble on the end of my glue. All right, here we go. It says clandestine, which apparently means to happen in secrecy. Apparently this is a secret, and I'm letting you in on it. Somebody's going to look at this years from now and be like, really? Clandestine? What are you trying to say? Look, here's another piece of garbage from my table. It's the positive that I ripped off of something earlier. I've got a lot of that going on all over. I go, well, here's some blue. Just pull it up off my table. Gross. This is gross. Yeah. So I think I'm going to put a date tag on there. That's a little too wild. That's kind of nice. Alright, so let's do that. I don't think I need to put tape on it because I can see it if I date stamp it. Today is, oh, I never ever know the date. Today is the 25th. All day. 25th all day. Alright, so every time I take my StazOn out, I get somebody that emails me and says, you know, if you glue dot this to the top of your lid, you don't have to keep finding it. Don't do that. I can't stress enough that that is the wrong thing to do, because the purpose of this is to keep this tight to the bottom of the pad, not to this. If that were the case, they would have already done it. So don't glue dot this to the top of your lid. Your ink will dry out faster. I always wanted to say that because I always get these emails that say, you know, I'm tired of watching you find the lid. Just gonna have to watch me find the lid, because that needs to stay flush to the bottom of that ink pad. And that's what keeps it juicy. Alright, April 25th. I am going to staple that here. 1, 2, 3. Type A, type A. What else do I want to do? I mean, I know it sounds really weenie, but I really kind of just like those in there. I do. It feels very science booky. And I thought like ink the edges, maybe ink the edges. Distress ink. Maybe distress ink. Let's see what one little edge looks like distress inked. And this probably has like vintage photo already on it. Let's see. Will it change the look? Not really going to cheat, you know, because I have acrylic paint on there. It's not really going to show up all that much. I'm talking to myself. I'm having like 1,000 thoughts in my head right now. Does it look okay? What do they think? What are you thinking on camera? Do you think it looks nice? I'm not sure. I wish you were here so you could tell me if you think it looks nice. I'm just going to go for it. There's like this great quote on Pinterest about talking to yourself in your head and laughing out loud. I do that. Full conversations. Even answer myself. I'm sure that's a sign of something. For all my psychiatrists, psychotherapists, psychologists, I'm sure that means something out there. No, I'm just inking everything. Can't start because then, you know, can't just ink one side. Alright, I'm walking away from this today. This was a totally unexpected kind of page. I didn't have a product in mind. It just kind of had dirty palettes sitting next to me. I am going to be knee deep for the next couple days, and that I'm traveling consistent. So I've got to get a lot of stuff done. Their table might not ever be clean if it's still producing creativity. So that's it for Inspiration Wednesday. Clean out your paint palette, or even if you're using wax paper, or you can see how this beautiful brown piece of paper that is just permanently stuck to my table, you could even use that in your journal and start from there. So use something weird today. That paint, I'm doing that on a big canvas at some point because that's really just too cool. But now I've used all my paints. I'm going to have to go paint something again so I have paint so that I could make paint stuff on a canvas. All right, that's it. Inspiration Wednesday. Have a great one. See you next week.